Few years ago, we used to say that the cloud is the future. But today, it may be misleading if we say that to our clients. Today is about time for you to discover which cloud solution best works for you. My name is Hikmat. I am from the Cloud Solutions division of KuwaitNet, and in this video, I'm going to answer the question, why move to the cloud? Why do entities of different verticals and sizes choose to move from traditional computing to cloud computing? But before we go there, let's start by exploring what is traditional computing. Traditional computing is having your data stored on your own data center, or what is also known as a server room. There are different tiers or levels of data centers where each has its own standards of redundancy and other aspects. Whether you are running a small or a big data center will always have two primary roles: to run your business applications and to keep your data safe. Next, we will discover the minimum requirements for a proper data center. The first step in building a data center is to allocate a room or a hall with strict considerations of security and cooling aspects. And then you install the following common components. Raised floor to protect servers from floods and to allow for cable arrangement. Cables are pulled in trays beneath raised floor or over for ceiling. In a data center, air conditioning cannot be compromised. You need to choose the right redundant cooling solution. Redundancy applies to power as well. It is essential to have an uninterruptible power supply system in your data center. And of course, you need to have an industry-specific firefighting system inside your data center. Physical security. A data center will be hosting your business data, so it is your responsibility to keep it safe and secure. As a minimum, you should have an access control system and a surveillance system. Data center management. Failure of any component of your data center to function in the right time can mean a disaster. To avoid that, you need to run a periodic maintenance to every component. Hardware needs to be renewed according to your standard hardware refresh policy. You will need to dedicate one or more resources for data center management, or you will find your IT staff leaving their core production tasks and troubleshooting the data center issues. If you choose to have a proper disaster recovery site for a business continuity purposes, you will be managing two sites and doubling the cost and complexity. On-premise data center challenges. It is a fact that managing an on-premise data center is time-consuming and costly. It is full of complexity and requires continuous maintenance. Who will run or operate your data center is another question to answer. And how is it going to affect your IT team business-related responsibilities? After all the efforts, you may find your server unreachable because of a hidden cable eaten by a rat. Pest control is one important aspect that is being underrated. Even a cute little mouse can cause a significant damage to your business and your image. With the cloud, you can choose to transfer this whole responsibility to another party and focus on aspects that matter. What is cloud computing? The term is generally used to describe data centers available to many users over the internet. Think of it as if you are renting computing capacity on a high-end data center. As a user, you will see the cloud in one of the following self-explanatory forms. Infrastructure as a service, and that is where you hand over part of the responsibility to the cloud. Platform as a service, and that is where you hand over a bigger part of the responsibility to the cloud. Software as a service, and that is where you hand over the full operation responsibility to the cloud, and you just subscribe to the service as a user. You can use the cloud for production services. You can even use it for disaster recovery purposes. You can use it as a dev and test environment. Now we came to the important question, why would you consider moving to the cloud? Below are some of the common benefits that you are likely to achieve. One of the guaranteed results of cloud adoption is innovation. Once you hand over the data center management responsibility, your team will be able to align their efforts with your business objectives. Whether you are just starting your business or you are launching a new online service of an established business, with the cloud you can simply spin up the server or service that fits your needs and start your operation without having to worry about hardware procurement and delivery and deployment. Availability. Think of those e-commerce businesses that couldn't reach their data center during the pandemic lockdown. When you select the right cloud, you rest assured that your systems are not interrupted because of a power failure or internet disconnection. They take care of the redundancy at all levels. If you have multi-regional or multinational you can choose to host replication of your applications closer to your branch office latency. If this doesn't work good enough for you in the peak time, scalability of the cloud will do. Scalability. Whether you are having a seasonal demand on your online system or your business is growing over time, it is always easier for you to scale up and down with the cloud. Of course, it is faster for virtual machines, but even if you are having a dedicated server on the cloud, you can manage to increase the specs or add more machines without having to wait for weeks for hardware delivery or adjusting your network and cabinet infrastructure to contain them. Some advanced cloud platforms offer auto-scaling based on a preset configuration in response to traffic on a particular server or service. Security. The physical security of the data center will always be the responsibility of the cloud. Data security responsibility will vary from one cloud to another and from one service to another. In all cases, it is your responsibility to select the cloud that matches your security measures. You may want to look into their portfolio of accreditations and compliance certificates. Cloud has different pricing models. One of the most famous is the pay-as-you-go model, where you pay for what you consume. You can also have fixed cost models for some cloud platforms. One important aspect of the cloud is cost reduction. However, it is not guaranteed that every cloud deployment will save on cost as compared to on-premise. It is important that you do the proper total cost of ownership analysis to make sure you select the right platform and service. There is always more to do with the cloud. The cloud is already a huge world, and there is a lot to win as you move to the cloud, especially as you start considering advanced technologies such as the Internet of Things, machine learning, analytics, and many others. I hope that you have found this material informative and helpful. We will come back to you with more interesting videos on the cloud. Please feel free to contact us on the displayed email for your inquiries. Thank you.